tell me. Hey everybody, it's Miss Heather. Today in the garden, we're gonna do a science experiment. I have been wanting for a really long time to figure out what is going on with the soil in the garden beds. So I purchased a soil test kit. So what we're gonna do is stick these test tubes filled with water from the soil into this machine, and it's gonna tell us if we have enough of the nutrients that we're testing for. So the nutrients that we're testing for today are all nutrients that our body needs as well. So we're gonna test for nitrogen in the soil. We're gonna test for potassium in the soil. We're gonna test for phosphorus in the soil. And then finally, we're gonna test the pH of the soil. And by testing the pH of the soil, we'll know if the soil is too acidic or too alkaline for our plants. And so we'll get into that a little bit more later. But what I have here are the test capsules, the tubes that the tests are gonna go into, the test machine itself. I have, I took 1 tablespoon of each of the soils from the soil bed. And in order to do that, I had to go 4 inches down. So it's really handy that we have this really cool shovel here that has measurements on it. So you'll see that there's a 4 there with a line. So that's how deep I had to dig in order to get the sample from this deep here. And then we also have 5 cups of water. So in order to do this soil test properly, we have to have a 1:5 ratio of soil to water. So what we're gonna do is we are going to put this soil into the water. We're gonna give it a little stir, and then we're gonna wait 30 minutes to 24 hours to test the soil. So the soil has to settle down in the water in order for the lack of or excess of nutrients to rise into the water. So let's pour this in here. Okay. You can see the soil is sinking, right? We're gonna give it a good stir. Make sure that none of the soil is sitting on top of the surface. And because the soil is heavier than the water, the soil is going to sink to the bottom, right? This is all about density. All right, we're almost there. If you look at the top of this water, you'll see that the water and the soil are mixing really nicely and that the soil is actually beginning to sink. If you look down here at the bottom, you'll see that the soil is sinking. And the soil will continue to sink for the next 30 minutes, 1 hour before we decide to test it today. All right, we'll be back in an hour. Hey everyone, it's Miss Heather again. Welcome back to Science in the Garden. All right, so it has been 24 hours since our last video, and we are ready to test our soil for the nutrients. So I have already filled these test jars with the powder that's in these capsules. So I matched the colors. So potassium is orange. Phosphorus is blue. And nitrogen is purple. All right, so we are going to put water in these, then we're gonna wait 10 minutes, and then we're gonna stick it in this cool machine and see what our nutrient density is. So we have a couple of different monitors here. We have surplus, which means more than enough, a lot of nutrient in that soil. Then we have sufficient, which is good. It's better than average, right? And adequate is just, it's adequate, it's great, it's where it should be. Then we also have deficient, which is the opposite of sufficient. So deficient is less than ideal. We want more, right? We want to bring it up to one of these 3 levels here. And depleted means that it's completely void of in the soil. So there is no nutrient that we're measuring in the soil if it comes up depleted. All right, so let's get our science going. All right, so here we go. So first I'm gonna do the potassium, and I'm gonna take my dropper. I'm gonna squeeze the top of my dropper to get it past this upper soil level here. I'm gonna pull up the water, and I'm gonna fill it up to the 4th line. All right, looks like I need to go one more time. All right, so now we're measuring phosphorus in the soil. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing that I did for potassium. We're gonna take it up to that 4th line. Keep going. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna give it a shake. Give it a good shake. All right. All right, and then finally, let's measure our nitrogen. And once again, I'm gonna do exactly the same thing all the way up to that 4th line, which is right there. Almost there, almost there. Ah! Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna give this one a good shake. Shake, shake, shake. All right, you can see that it's mixing, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, so we're back. It's been 10 minutes, and we're going to test the soil. So here we go. So first thing we're gonna test for is potassium. All right, we're gonna put that in, and we're going to, potassium is K, correct? Depleted. Uh-oh. All right. Okay, let's take that one out. All right, let's do phosphorus. Here's the blue. Phosphorus is P. Deficient. So we need to boost that up as well. All right, and then finally nitrogen. And nitrogen is really, really, really important for soil quality and important for plant growth. And so I'm really curious to know. So here we go. Nitrogen. Depleted. All right, you guys, so now we know we need to boost up all 3 of these nutrients in our soil in order for our plants to grow to their biggest possibility. So we're gonna tackle that. We'll see you soon.